Hey y'all, once again, it's Alchemy here to talk about the oppositions and the alchemy of the houses, the hidden alchemy that's actually in the houses. Today we're going to do a very interesting pair. Probably one of my favorites to really get into, especially with the current state of the world. The fifth house, the house of self, expression, entertainment. Okay, entertainment is a big industry. In fact, it's such a big industry. Like, there is so many conversations about the industry, media alike, lots of talks, right? Versus humanity, the 11th house, the house of progression, future hopes and wishes, right? There's a very interesting alchemy here, y'all. We gonna break it down. We gonna really get into it, okay? But first, let us talk about the houses. So, fifth house is occurring in the middle of summer. This is Leo, right? We got the sun, okay? Very hot right here, okay? The industry is a very hot topic. Wendy Williams could have did it better, right? These are hot topics, right? These are things that generate a lot of energy. When we think about the sun is an actual generator, right? It's growing shit. It gets busy, right? And the sun is so powerful with its radiance, with its essence, right? It has, I mean, it's basically it's the closest celestial body that we have in relationship to the earth and the other planets, right? I guess the other would be the moon, right? And the moon is just the shadow side of the sun, right? So the sun is very close to us. It is basically the light of the world or the life giver of the world, right? I kind of think that the sun is being described as the Christian deity Jesus, right? Jesus was the light of the world, the sun that walks the earth, right? So the sunlight that hits our earth every day is what's generating the food that we eat, right? It actually helps us generate and cultivate the experiences that we have. When it's nice sunny weather outside, we can go be active versus when it's, a little too cold to be out there. Or if there's, clouds that are kind of blocking the sun, causing rain, things like that, right? So a lot of human just how we go about our day deals a lot with the sun, okay? Daylight, sunlight, we get it, right? But going to like things like industries, right? The fifth house is about amusement, fun, imagination, bliss. This is also the house of children, right? And it's fun making them, okay? But this is a house of creativity, basically, right? This is where you can ultimately go to be creative. And just like the sun, right? You get to generate, but you're doing it from an authentic way. Now, what's cool about the sun and how it relates to authenticity, the sun is actually a white light. Looks yellow because it's refracting the color of the earth back up there, right? So it looks yellow, but it's actually white. Google it if you don't believe. Google it. Okay, but anyway, it's white. Now we also know this too because when there's a rainbow after it storms, right? The water that's bending the light shows a colorful rainbow. And the only way that you get a rainbow, or basically white breaks down to be all the colors of the rainbow that they're spinning, right? So the way that we get our rainbows from that white light from the sun that's being broken or bent, I should say, by the water. Now, this tells me a couple things, okay? What God is really showing us is that with the rainbow, with this white sunlight, this white powerful sun that's making all the things that we need on this universe. I mean, there's no sun, there's no life on earth, right? But the way that God has created the sun is by taking all the colors of the rainbow and making them spin. All they're doing is dancing together. They coming together to dance. This is what creates white light. White is not really a color like that. It's basically the coming together of all the colors in a way though where all the colors are authentically being themselves. Okay, this is one of the reasons too why authenticity translates so well in the industry. We love an authentic artist. Okay, if you can entertain me and I just naturally feel like, oh, it's this is I'm feeling this, right? I'm authentically feeling this, right? There's something very powerful with the fifth house, right? Because this is the sun, this is the generator, right? It's something very powerful about this house. This is one of the reasons why entertainers get so much clout. They get paid very well. Okay. If you can be entertaining, you can leverage those things that you're entertaining with into like growing a career in the future, aka the 11th house, what progresses, right? Whatever we're generating, we hope that it continues to grow, right? In general. So this is basically an aspect here. But what's cool about the sun being authentic, right? Being all the colors of the rainbow, is that when they're dancing, red isn't asking green to mix with blue to mix with orange, right? In fact, when you mix too many colors, you get darkness. Hence why we have part of the daylight with the sun, we can see light. And then the rest of the universe is darkness, right? That night and day kind of thing. So these are these opposite spectrums, and we live in a duality, right? So spirit is showing us, or God is showing us, whatever, right? That when we're authentically allowing our colors, or letting anybody's colors for that matter, to truly shine, this is when we get the most generation. This is when we get the most authentic growth. Now, that ain't to say that you can't generate and grow some bullshit, okay? The sun is a generator. It's gonna grow your flowers for you, just like it'll grow your weed for you. Sound funny? Just like it'll grow weeds, right? So if you don't want those weeds to grow, right? You don't want to give them no shine, right? You want to, hide them. That's one of the best way to get rid of weeds, right? Saw that on a YouTube video. Just block it from the sunlight. Put a box or something over it, right? They can't grow because it's not getting that sunlight. But that's the point of it, right? Whatever we're shining the light on, it generates. Think about your eye. Your eye is basically, allowing light to come in for your brain to process that information that you're getting, and that's what generates, you creating your day, right? What you're shining your light on, what you're giving your attention to. This is a very important house, right? Because again, it's entertainment like industry, but ultimately it's just what we entertain. Authentically what make us feel good. Because if it authentically makes me feel good, right, in my 5th house, I want to go to my 11th house and hang out with some friends, some associates who come together over the same thing. And this is what we get locked in the middle of wintertime with the 11th house, the house of progression, the house of associates, the house of future hopes, dreams, wishes, right? If I'm generating something from my 5th house, right, and I'm generating it, so I want it to grow. You think we put in the sunlight, we want it to grow. We're giving our attention to, we're entertained by it, right? I want it to progress. I want it to be around for, future generations. If I'm having children, I hope that my children have a beautiful, bright future. All things 11th house. This is the hopes and the wishes. I believe the children are our future, right? Teach them well and let them lead the way. Okay, this is what we're ultimately trying to do with the 11th house, because this is also the house of humanity. Okay, again, 5th house. If I like chess, 11th house. I want to associate with people who like chess too. I'm at the chess club, right? 5th house. If I'm on if I want to hear what celebrity gossip is, right? 10th house. I'm on somebody's YouTube channel, talking about, the tea, basically, right? So whatever I want to entertain, I'm going to naturally gravitate to associates who can help me get that fix, that feel, find the fulfillment. This is really what the 11th house is about. It's about fulfillment. It's about what you hope and wish for. Essentially, if you're in a 12-step process, right? Once you at 11, there's not a whole lot left to do. Okay? There's no more fire in the winter houses, right? So basically, the 10th house is for you to structure and build it, for the, the legacy. And then your 11th house is like, okay, well, I done did the work. I just hope and wish it, the best. Shout out to the people who helped me along the way. Wishing the best for y'all too, right? But this is what we hope and what we wish for. This is why the water bearer, okay, the guy is coming in and he's pouring in. Because there's really nothing else for him to do, right? It's just time for him to just pour all of what he wants to see, to come into the future, into this moment, pouring it from a cloud at that, right? So when we're in the clouds, we're just thinking, we're daydreaming and stuff like that, right? So it's a very cerebral energy too, because this is the air element. This is actually fixed air. Shout out to fixed earth and fixed air. I love me some fixed air. One of my best homies is an Aquarius. Okay. I love fixed air because this is where our minds can finally lock in. Gemini was all over the damn place. I got a Libra moon. It's tough for me to make decisions, okay? Because sometimes once we get all this information and this intel from Gemini, you got to toss it over to Libra, who's got to make a choice on the matter, right? But once you've made the choice, Aquarius is seeing that choice mature. It's like where your thoughts can finally rest. I have a very active mind. So sometimes when my mind can just finally just chill, reserve, lock in, freeze for a minute. Oh, my spirit them be moments for me. Okay, but that's just me. Nonetheless, right? The point of Aquarius energy is just where you want to see things go. And this is coming from a very 5th house perspective. I generated this, right? And because this is what I hope and wish that it comes from it. Right? If you creating a new show, you may hope that you get a good audience that'll support it, right? I created the show. I'm going to bring people in to like watch the show, associates, people who, are enjoy this kind of content too, right? That's what we all kind of hope for, right? This is the principle explained. So these are very opposite energies, okay? Now we got the planet Saturn here with the 11th house. I didn't show the sun, but the sun is a generator, right? Or boom, the sun is a generator. Yeah, you get it, you get it. You ain't gotta see the cards, you get it. But the point is with the 11th house, right? The 11th house is different. The 11th house got Saturn here, which is the planet of reality. So what you're generating is your reality. But you're doing it in a way that's very Uranus like. It's very like all of a sudden shit didn't change. And that's how it is with humanity, right? Like 20 years ago, there were payphones. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, the shift with the technology changes, and now there's no more pay. Nobody gonna have house phones no more, right? Everything's on the celly. Technology is like that, right? Think about like styles and stuff that you see. I do not want to say this because I don't want to like, but fuck it. It is what it is. Jersey dresses. Okay, y'all remember those because I can't think of anything really trendy like that the kids are really into like that, right? But jersey dresses was like a big deal. You saw one girl with it, then everybody just kind of like, oh, this is the trend, right? So all of a sudden you just saw more and more pop up and stuff like that, right? Oh, the chunky nail thing, right? I want to get my nails. I'm probably gonna do my nails here in a bit. I've been doing them myself because I don't really like going to the shop. And then there was a young lady that I like who was really doing them well, and then she I don't have access to her no more. So nonetheless, I ended up doing it myself. But the chunky nail trend, okay, with all the cute little designs, look like she doing like that kind of stuff, right? And the nail salon wasn't really doing it for me like that. So all of a sudden, there was this radical change, and how although I wanted to generate a certain look, right, from my fifth house. I couldn't associate with the regular shop no more because they weren't really giving me that fulfillment, what I really hoped and wished for to really have the outcome, right? Based off trends from the fifth house, right? The fifth house trend of like, when you see, I guess, I don't know what celeb probably did it first, right? But the real cute little chunky nails and all that stuff. And maybe it wasn't a celeb, maybe it was just some kind of cool nail tech that was just doing something and, it just popped off like that, right? But these are how trends happen. This is what trending is, basically what people put their attention on from a fifth house perspective and what they want to generate and what they're entertained by. Thus, how it grows and it affects humanity. This is another thing too about the alchemy here of these houses. We have got to stop letting people out of us. This is authenticity, right? The fifth house is being authentic, right? Let's keep it motherfucking funky. Entertainment shapes humanity. What I don't like about the world sometimes is that it tries to give us the guise that, it's just entertainment or it's just a movie or it's just a song. I can be an absolute testament as a woman of a particular age. Okay. There was a time when hip hop sounded so diverse. You had digital planets, you had Naughty by Nature, you had, Tribe Called Quest, you had Far Side. I mean, I could go back and bring a whole lot of throwback names, right? Then all of a sudden, it was a little bit more gangster. Now everybody that I hear pretty much mainstream sounds sadly one note. Okay. And that's not because of people's sons. People gonna generate based off their authenticity. No, it's because of the industry. Okay, the industry is what said, oh, well, this is what we wanted them to be entertained by. Because this is an industry that's controlled, okay? And it was set up to be that way to make humanity a particular way. Crazy Bone talks about it, right? He talked about how there were people who got together and said, if we make this kind of music, this is the impact it's going to have on communities, on society. So don't let people lie to you. You know what I mean? Don't lie to your damn self. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, I like a little low vibrational here and there, right? I tap into some things, but there are certain things in my spirit. It's just like, I can't get on the wave of another person saying this or doing. That's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? I got Leo on my chart too, so maybe that might be why. I got Venus and Mars Leo. So for me, sometimes when the desire, I mean, now if I like it, I like it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but there are just certain things that I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy hearing certain low vibrational shit. I don't enjoy that, right? But for some people, they think it's cool. They think it's cool. I'm telling you, y'all, this shit goes so deep. They think it's really cool. and because they think it's cool, they just go along with it, right? And that's how crazy industries can be, because what they really do is they take authentic talent. They take people who who authentically are shining, they know how to bring a crowd, and then they just tweak it a little bit. So the artist who comes off authentic, right, is really pushing out inauthentic messages. Some of these girls are really nice girls, but for real, with the way the industry is right now, if I didn't know they rapped, I would think that they only fangirls. You know what I'm saying? And then to me, it's a little too muddled, because again, the sun is here. The sun wants your lights to shine authentically. It's not at We shouldn't want our rap girls to look. I mean, somebody want them to look like strippers, okay? I don't per se. I just think if you can spit, you can spit, and I'm gonna get into you because you can spit, because I'm into music like that. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people who are really into it like that feel like that too. But the industry is pushed in a way and created in a way that it just, you know, it has set the bar that way. But the lie here, because the devil is a lie. The lie is that entertainment don't affect generations. Yes, it do. Yes, it do. If you are concerned about a humanity and how humanity is going, look at what the fuck they entertain. Now, how it alchemizes here, okay? Because we got 11 and 5, which will make 16. 1 and 6 reduces back to 7. So it comes back to the 7th house, the house of relationships, choices, decisions. Venus is here. That's why I say it's a very tricky house. It's a very tricky alchemy here. First of all, it's what we are naturally entertained by is fixed in nature, right? People naturally are fixed in, like, it's a good beat. If you can spit, if it's a cute look, like, if it looks good, which Leo is just about shining, right? We're always going to be gravitated to that, because that's just naturally how the entertainment house works. It makes us feel good. And sometimes, for real, it can make you feel good hearing about somebody getting slapped in their fucking face. Especially when you mad. If I'm on that time and I'm entertaining that feels good to me, okay? Not saying that I really want a future to progress, like, with slapping people all the time, because I can't do no jail time, okay? I'm not here for jail food, bitch. Not I said the cat, okay? But your 7th house, right? This is how it alchemizes. It alchemizes in a way where you got to make decisions, you got to make choices, and you got to try to find some harmony. Otherwise, that shit that you are entertaining is harmful, period. That's all I can tell you. I mean, I can tell you a little bit now. I'm gonna tell you a little bit now. But this is Libra, right? Libra is here, and it's about this is cardinal air, right? So this is again where we got to make decisions and we got to make choices. Now let's talk about the planets here. The sun, which is the 5th house, and Venus. So when it comes to the alchemy, that adds up, right? The sun and Venus love it. Venus loves to indulge, and the sun loves to generate. So if I can indulge in some shit that I'm generating, oh, it's a hey ho of a time, right? One of my homeboys even say, like, Leos and Libras can get away with so much shit because of these placements, right? The sun is just gonna be what it is, and we love some love, right? Everybody do. So there's something naturally about these two positions, and just in our houses, period, right? We like entertainment and we love what we love. A good love story, to be able to indulge in something that you love and that you can are entertained by. The alchemy here is great. It's when you get to the 11th house that it gets a little tricky. When you start seeing all the little girls out here throwing a thought pocket, and I remember the video that went viral with the babies at the party, and they was the City Girl song they was dancing to and singing the lyrics, and it's just like, whoa, you know. So here, you got Saturn and you got Uranus. Now, Saturn is about making things real, and Uranus is about the progression of it. So it was a bit shocking, right, to kind of just see these babies all of a sudden out here talking about some make that thing breathe. What they know about that, right? That they really don't get the concept of probably what they're seeing. So I get that, right? So entertainment, again, it's tricky because the devil is a lie. Venus is known as the Lucifer star, okay? So by way of, like, kind of thinking about the scales of it and deciding and judging, like, well, I like listening to this song. So if these babies happen to just overhear it, they don't really know what they're talking about, right? And it's a little tricky here because, again, Venus likes to be dealing with entertainment. It does. But when you think of the reality and the future of, like, these little girls and what they're doing, or even a bigger one, The way this violence is right now, to me, is out of control. But it's not out of control because parents were just like putting guns in these kids' laps. We're not gonna act like the parents like went out there and told them this. No, it was the world that told them this, and it was essentially the entertainment world, especially in the West, because I was privy to it. I saw how music literally was gearing people to feel more hood and more, about it, as we used to say back in the day, or just all these kind of negative stereotypes that enforce selfish, murderous. These are niggas going through an identity crisis to me, because then they go to jail and then they get to crying and hooping and hollering, one day mama and falling out because they can't get bail and shit like that. But they went out here and just made somebody a big boy goddamn decision to end somebody's life, right? To generate some bullshit for somebody that impacted their life. And Uranus is the kind of shit, because it's a rebellion, right? It's about how we deal with our humanity, essentially, right? Reality is what we make real as a collective, and for our individual selves too, right? I mean, like, we as individuals are like solely are making our reality, right? But we come into a real world, okay? We come into places trying to find our spot in the cycle of life, in the circle of life, right? Uranus is here though, and because of the things that we're generating from a fifth house, right? Like, if one person's entertained by it, it don't really impact, it don't have the impact like that for Uranus, right? But when a lot of people get into it, and a lot of people got into gangster rap, a lot of people got into um that kind of energy, and then we can look at what it's done to society. It was like just all of a sudden just got a little bit more violent all of a sudden, right? Like the rules changed. Used to be like, if you had beef, because that's what the music kind of talked about, right? How you deal with your beef, basically. It's like a whole instruction manual on it. And you dealt with your beef, you kind of catch your op when you catch your op out in the street, kind of in the back alley kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it can be anywhere. We just heard about the dude and the baby at the car wash. They got him and his baby. The rules have changed, and that's what I'm saying. So with this entertainment and shit, we got to be very careful, because with Venus is known as the Lucifer star for a reason. It's beautiful. For real, for real. This is why we like the entertainment industry, right? Because I have the freedom to just do what I want to do. I can generate what I want to generate, right? But it does come with the consequence, and humanity is the one that pays. So I just don't appreciate the whole narrative. Now, this is me ranting. I'm gonna close it out here in a bit, because y'all get the alchemy, right? We get it, right? I've just never been appreciative of, and this is before I even got into astrology like that. So just the fact that I kind of stumbled on this alchemy shit to kind of help support things, because the world will gaslight you. The world will make you think that, oh, it's just entertainment. This is just words. This is just, no, bitch, this is generation. It's something is generating here. The sun has literal energy that's coming from it to make shit grow, right? So what would make you think as a being who has a sun within you, because you've got a chakra system, you've got colors and rainbows within you that are generating. What makes you think the shit that you're generating won't impact somebody else? Nothing but your ego. And this is a very egoic place, right? So I get it, you know what I mean? But the point here is that this is not just a boxed in, compartmentalized industry. If it was, it would be just that. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't matter if an artist sold records or not to his fans, because it's a compartmental place, right? That's not the case. They know that the industry affects humanity. They know it. They just want to lie to you and I, so that we okay with our children listening to some fucking mess that they gotta, programs and shit that's just running all in their mind and stuff like that, right? This is what we're talking about here. This is why this alchemy to me is important. And even if you're not into astrology, right? It's just important to think about that, because whatever these kids, and the fifth house is our kids. The fifth house is like your grown ass go out here and play, GT4 and get to playing in traffic and shit. That's you, idiot. But we talking about like 16, 17-year-olds, 19, 20-year-olds, and they still babies to me. You know what I mean? But they've been entertained by these terrible games, promoting terrible behavior, and then you wonder why so many traffic accidents. You wonder why, motherfuckers is like straight up school bus sign telling the person to stop, but they just done zoom past it like it's nothing, because in the game they're rewarded for it. But maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I got it wrong. It's possible, But this alchemy is showing me something different. So now I'm done ranting. Y'all get the alchemy here, right? And then what happens too? The last thing to note is that whenever things are not adding up, so if you see the progression of humanity, which is the 11th house, right? If you see where humanity is and you don't like where you see your humanity, right? Take what you're generating away and go back and revisit it. Go back to the 6th house again. This alchemy always comes back to the 6th house when it isn't adding up, when you start deducing the opposite energy. So if you're not really in a happy place or seeing humanity in the state that you would like it to see it, even your own humanity, right? How you go out here and look at people, because that's a real thing too, right? I'm trying not to look at, I'm working on myself. I'll say that, okay? I'm gonna say that, right? Like there's a lot of ideas that they got spinning and narratives about people. But when I look at my own humanity, what I'm doing is essentially I'm revisiting my 6th house. I'm revisiting and reworking and meditating on what I'm generating and if it's really supportive by way of what I'm entertaining, right? Is it supporting life? Or, am I going to be, leaving myself or somebody else on life support based off some entertainment and shit that I'm doing? Because my 5th house is impacting humanity, you know? And this is what Spirit is saying, essentially. So I don't want this to go too long, but y'all get it because I've talked about this before if you've been here watching and stuff like that. If you're not, come back and check out some other stuff too that I've been doing. I'm just enjoying myself coming in and breaking down these concepts and stuff. And my particular take on astrology, you can use astrology in so many different ways, right? I like to use the alchemy that I've kind of stumbled on and discovered, and talk about concepts that are affecting all of our lives in so many different facets. So I enjoyed you. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys on the next one. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Bye.